Dead by Daylight has not had any real competition until now. What if I told you that there's a game that will most likely kill Dead by Daylight? After you play that game, you will never think about returning to Dead by Daylight. And obviously I'm talking about a vanking simulator. This is the best vanking experience in the world from the comfort of your home. You can visit Gay Bay and vank your dick as hard as possible. But don't vank it for too long because it's very addictive. Okay, I'm just kidding, but if you want, then go and download Vanking Simulator. I don't give a fuck. Now, to be serious, in this video I will talk about some upcoming Dead by Daylight competitors. And this time I'm not kidding you, there are some interesting games similar to Dead by Daylight coming soon, and they could very well become popular. But before I talk about it, I would like to kindly ask you to subscribe to this channel, because every new subscriber makes me fat, and I'm trying to become the fattest man in the world. So please subscribe and make me fat, thank you. Okay, so there have been multiple games that tried to compete with Dead by Daylight, and they had a chance to do so, but for one reason or another they died. And competition is always good. Think, why is Dead by Daylight so buggy even though it has a team of 300 people behind it? Why can't they balance killers properly? Why are the skins so expensive? It's because no matter what developers do, DBD will be successful because there is no competition. No game could replace DBD, and even if developers get lazy AF, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because there is no game players could leave Dead by Daylight for, and that's a big problem. We need competition. We need other games similar to Dead by Daylight. So probably the most successful DBD competitor so far had been Friday the 13th the game, but the player base of that game died because of the lawsuit, which resulted in developers being unable to add any new content to the game. And that game had so much potential, but honestly I do not think that even if development continued, Friday the 13th would be as popular as Dead by Daylight because of all the licensed DBD chapters. And Friday the 13th is a game about one license only, but still, it's very sad, and I think it had a bunch of potential to compete with Dead by Daylight.
Just like your mom had a bunch of potential to compete with my dick.
Other games that could be serious Dead by Daylight competitors would be last year The Nightmare, Hide or Die, Evolve, and Monstrum 2. These are all fun games, but every single one of them made serious mistakes, such as a lack of marketing, too high price tag, too many bugs at launch, and uninspired content. These things killed those games completely. I also have to mention Home Sweet Home Survive, which was a decent game, but it lacked inspiration and it had a bunch of server problems at release, and that's why it died. But is there any hope? Is there any hope to see a game that could compete with Dead by Daylight? Well, if the answer was no, I wouldn't be making this video. But recently I found that there are some games coming soon that will completely surprise Dead by Daylight fans. And many of you are not even aware about these potential Dead by Daylight competitors. So I thought I would make this video, and I really believe that some of these games could compete with Dead by Daylight. I will talk about the game with the most potential in the end, but let's start with some smaller potential Dead by Daylight competitors. These are games very similar to Dead by Daylight, but they are different. You have probably already heard of this game, but I still want to mention it, and it's actually Evil Dead the game. If you don't know, Evil Dead is a popular horror movie, and there are multiple parts of the movie, and there's a TV show called Ash vs Evil Dead. It's on Netflix, and it's one of the best TV series I have ever seen. It's a comedy slash horror TV series, and it's a very good TV show. By the way, we have Ash in Dead by Daylight. But Evil Dead the game will be a mix between Evil Dead movies and Evil Dead TV series. The reason of why this game could really compete with Dead by Daylight is that there are these spirits in Evil Dead called Deadites, and basically they could go into any human being, any soul, and possess that soul. And there's even a theory that Jason Voorhees himself was a Deadite, and it opens a bunch of possibilities for other licensed killers to be added into the game. And that would mean that Dead by Daylight is not the only game with a bunch of licensed killers, but that's just a theory. Another reason why this game could compete with Dead by Daylight is that many streamers, many popular streamers such as Lyric for example, they have noticed this game and they have told us that they are anticipating this game. They can't wait to try it out. So we will see how it goes. Definitely keep your eye on Evil Dead the game, because even if it looks something that you don't want to play, in the end you will probably want to try it out. Okay, the second game I want to talk about is something you have probably never heard of, but if you are a real horror fan, then you will be impressed and you will probably want to at least check this game out. And I'm talking about Charlie the Legend, the Child's Play video game. And yes, it has Chucky as the killer. We have always wanted to see Chucky in Dead by Daylight, but in my opinion, Chucky is a very little dude, and I'm not sure if these lazy Dead by Daylight developers will add Chucky into Dead by Daylight anytime soon. We will see, but while waiting for Chucky to be added into Dead by Daylight, you should definitely check this game out, because Charlie the Legend is coming out as soon as October 2021, which means the next month, of course, if it's not being delayed, but we will see about that. It's 4 players versus 1, just like Dead by Daylight, and there are a bunch of powers, interesting gameplay. There's even gameplay on YouTube, you can check it out if you want. But I don't think it's gonna be a big competitor to Dead by Daylight or anything like that. It lacks marketing, but it's a cool game nevertheless. Check it out. And the last game I wanna talk about has a bunch of potential. It will not kill Dead by Daylight, but it has a potential to become as popular as Dead by Daylight. And I'm talking about VHS. If you are following Dead by Daylight YouTube channels, you have probably already heard of this game, but basically VHS is another 4v1 game just like Dead by Daylight. It's so similar to Dead by Daylight, it even has perks and similar killer fatigue mechanics. But why this game is different from Dead by Daylight, how it is different, is that this game is set in the 80s, and if you don't know, 1980s was the year of horror, and the atmosphere of 1980s related video games, they are something brilliant. Like, it has that specific 80s feeling, just like last year the Nightmare had when it was launched, and now this game will have the same feeling. It's brilliant. And another thing how this game will be different is that VHS will be a completely free game. You will be able to play it for free without paying anything, and to unlock every single new killer for free with just playing this game. Just like you would unlock characters in Apex Legends or League of Legends, Valorant. Of course, you can spend real money on those characters to buy them instantly, immediately, but you don't have to if you don't want to. And that's a big difference, because Dead by Daylight costs, and it's not a very cheap game. You need to pay like 20 euros in my country for Dead by Daylight. And we don't really have any free-to-play games that have similar game flow to Dead by Daylight. and now this game is coming out sometime soon. And another thing is that this game looks polished, it's more action orientated than Dead by Daylight, and developers have thousands of hours in Evolve and Dead by Daylight, so they really know how to develop this type of video games. It will also have a grinding system, just so you don't waste your time on nothing. So I will definitely check this game out. It definitely has a bunch of potential, and this is the game that made me make this video. But if you enjoyed this video, if I made you laugh even once in this video, because trust me, I believe that my intro was fucking awesome about the banking simulator, then like this video and subscribe to this channel. Thank you very much for your support, guys. See you later.